Welcome back to the channel. And today we get to go through your comments. Now, if you don't know what we do in this channel, here's a little card to the introduction video and just basic synopsis. You leave comments in my videos. Eventually I'll do a video that responds as many of the comments as I can. We didn't get a lot of comments, but for those who did comment, thank you so much for doing so. Please do leave comments. That does help the channel. Please leave likes, subscribe. That also helps the channel. And I respond to the comments. And here's the first response video. So let's go ahead and respond to some comments. First one from I Like Fish. Don't stop filming. I don't plan to. Now, I feel like we've actually been doing pretty well. I mean, we went from 25 subscribers from like when we started this whole thing to 223, I think is where we're at the last time I looked. We're getting close to 250. I think if we can get there by the end of the year, that would be freaking incredible. Honestly, I didn't even think we'd get past 100, but the fact that we did is absolutely incredible. So thank you all so much for the support. Let's keep upping those numbers. I bet we can do 250 by the end of the year, but I'm going to need you guys to help me out with that. So let's do it.
Let's go for it.
Next comment from Ashley. All-time favorite game. Originally, it was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and then it was it was that for many years. And then I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for quite a while. I put in probably well over 500 hours into that game. Loved every second of it. I'd go back just to enjoy the world. And then Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom came out, and that definitely took front runner. Like, no questions asked. That's probably my current all-time favorite game. From Hi Moi Moi, I've done it. I finally watched everything on YouTube. What? Honestly, I'm just happy to be included. Thanks for the comment. Mr. Face, this is in reference to the Nintendo Direct. Here's a card for that video if you're interested. I think the Direct was fine. Didn't showcase what I thought it would, honestly, but still, yeah, it was a good Direct. It took me a couple days to kind of formulate my total opinion of it. That's usually how my brain works. Going to movies, my wife will kind of get frustrated with me sometimes because immediately after the movie, she'll be like, oh, I thought it was good. And then I'm like, I don't know yet. And then like a couple days later, like, I'll just kind of like burst in the room. It was a good movie. Or, oh, it was bad. You know, it takes me a minute to kind of process all of my emotions for how I feel about things. And same thing with the Nintendo Direct. It was good. I liked it. Now, this is in reference to the video for, honestly, probably one of my funnier ones. Here's the card for that one there. Me and my wife got into a discussion of, you know, what would happen if Sauron quit being the Dark Lord of Mordor, retired, and then just started installing doors in houses. Just watch the video and you'll understand what this comment is talking about. And again, from Ashley, on my Persona 3 Reload video, go ahead and watch that one. The stunning killed me. Watch the video, you'll know exactly what this is in reference to. Another one of my favorite little bits. I couldn't stop laughing when I put that one together. I thought it was pretty good. Now this one is for the Romancing Saga 2 from Aldecentus. Coincidentally, I was playing this just yesterday. It became rather obvious to me how much care was put into the remake and how much care went into the original. The environments are gorgeous and detailed. There's this one, the steppe, that is gorgeous, full of green and warm light with a ship plowing through the ground in the background. The towns are fully detailed and the characters look very nice. I agree, 100%. I think Romancing Saga did a beautiful job with the character models and just the environments themselves. They're absolutely phenomenal. Narratively, it made me kind of sad that this general philosophy of crafting stories has been relegated. Decisions do matter how you experience each generation, and these decisions come from the prompts you select when they appear. To the quest that you want to tackle, if you get distracted with something else that appears along the way, up to the party composition and formation you are trying out. Also, it's impressive how much can be done with few lines of dialogue and character interactions as long as they have purpose. One of the first lines of the game, when Leon decides to not stop to rest, is loaded with characterization for him, his son, and those around him, way beyond the stern father archetype, and I'm happy to see that this kind of attention is kept throughout the memories of the 7 quests with more of an arc. Cumberland comes to mind. I agree, that's one of my favorite things about this game is the story is there if you want it to be there. You don't have to, you can just play the game, but if you're interested in what the actual overall narrative is, it's there for you to explore. For any newcomer, I do recommend playing on hard mode. Not because it's easy, but because the game throws down with you in earnest and makes each mob encounter to be important on its own. The game wants you to win, it just isn't going to keel over when you look at its general direction. That's why dead characters get replaced by similar ones, and the game doesn't end when your main character dies until the last generation. There's a sense of adventure permeating every step of the journey, and the generation system helps to make it your own. I recommend this if you were looking for something that is both fresh and familiar. Cheers, mate. Cheers to you too. Excellent comment. I really liked that. From Shin Yaguchi-sama. I waited for 2 decades for that game. Worth it. Oh, this is in reference to Trials of Mana, the Trials of Mana remake. Here's a card for that video there. That one surprised me by the amount of attention and the amount of traction that one got. I was not expecting that one to take off the way it did, but that's awesome. That's one of my favorite remakes in general. And I agree, that game was well worth the wait. I think it's an amazing remake. The game is shortish. A playthrough can be around 7 to 8 hours, but that's intended since you need multiple runs with different characters to experience them all and to unlock crossover passive buffs. Love this mechanic. The game's main problem is that combat is way too easy on all difficulties except the hardest requires unlock. Other than that, combat is satisfying and fluent. I always recommend this one. Just know that if you want more than casual hack and slash, you need to unlock the highest difficulty. I agree. Trials of Mana definitely did feel pretty easy, pretty light as far as the combat goes. Kind of like what you said, it's meant to be shortish. I think my first full playthrough took me, I wouldn't say 7 to 8 hours. I think it actually took me closer to around 20. But I was doing everything I can find, exploring every nook and cranny. I was just enjoying the world as much as I could, and likely, probably about 5 or 6 of those hours was me just kind of goofing around in the world and enjoying it. So there's a high chance that happened. And maybe about 5-ish hours was done in the end game, because it's a pretty lengthy end game when you get into it. But yeah, New Game Plus does include that hardest difficulty, which, yeah, that definitely does make things a little more interesting. So thank you for the comment. 3D NES 449. Thank heaven this game wasn't censored is a miracle. But why Dragon Quest games were censored? There's really a simple answer to that, is just ESRB. Lately, the ESRB has been very strict as far as its censorship, which is a little weird. I mean, it's been weird since the get-go, but it's been really weird recently. And even the developers of the game, the original designers, are like, well, we don't really know why this has to be a thing. But in order to kind of keep a lower rating so it can be enjoyed by more people, I suppose, is kind of the consensus, they had to censor some things. And from Descendants and Zombies Mashup. What's up, Max? Not much. What's up with you? Thank you for continually commenting on my videos. I appreciate it. And for now, that's all the comments that I have. Appreciate you guys hanging around. Please leave more comments on all of the videos. It is greatly appreciated. And we have more coming down the road. Appreciate you hanging around. We'll see you next time.